an extraordinary undertaking for Fiji. Everyone had expectations that COP23 should produce discernible progress on the Paris Agreement work program. This suddenly changed in its nature after President Trump's announcement. What was going to be a working COP only suddenly became an opportunity for inspiration and vision, for the renewal of vision.
Inclusive is one of the kind of key terms that defines Talanoa, and obviously civil society brings with it a great deal of experience from around the world of the real world impacts of climate change.
We had really important visionary outcomes, which were very people-centered. So the Gender Action Plan, the unprecedented involvement of children.
The key issue is to try and enter into a constructive dialogue. This is, I think, what is sometimes challenging in the negotiation rooms, and that is where it is so good that we can have another process whereby it's not just governments, it's not real negotiations on real decision text, it's others, it's stories, it's what is achievable, etc.
The prospect of net zero emissions now needs to enter our collective thinking. Carbon capture and storage, carbon trading, sequestration at national level in all different parts of the world are going to have to come together to reach this goal.
I honestly believe that there is no intention for the UK to row back on its climate ambitions at all.
Poland does represent a very interesting challenge for the talks and for climate action generally, which is to a significant degree the social transition. The people, as been talked about as being incredibly important in this, have a very clear concern about the future of their employment. That's something that you've got to face.
There are so many different players within the EU, and we all have to do our bit. The task is so huge.
The US played a constructive role this year as well. The US delegation did not really dramatically change its negotiation priorities.
We've seen some very encouraging link-ups in the States between California and Canadian provinces. We've seen some action on the east coast of the States, a huge interest from China.
There's more similarities between the EU and China. Both are about to overshoot their current climate goals.
I'm quite confident that COP24 will produce the Paris Agreement work program in its entirety.